Welcome back to the Division 2. We have another State of the Game stream this week, the 22nd of January, and it's a continuation of what they spoke about last week with the Gear 2.0 system. We're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to be putting images and stuff on screen and a little video clip because this thing that I'm going to be showing you is looking incredible. There's still no date. They're not going to reveal a date anytime soon because obviously we have episode 3 coming out first. This is not releasing with episode 3 or TU7. This is going to be coming later on in the year. I'm going to guess around June, July sort of time, or it might even be later summer, so like September, October. We don't actually know yet when this is coming into the game, but your builds aren't going to become obsolete within the next month. This is just something for the near future that they've been talking about. So to start things off, there was a maintenance yesterday. They fixed a bug in the Dark Zone where people were glitching through walls and killing players from behind those glitched walls. We are now, because we spoke last week about the talents only going to roll on backpacks and chests, the way they've done it is, for an example, there's going to be roughly 20 plus talents, each like different talents on the chest and on the backpack. So altogether there's going to be about 40 talents or something so that you can work around with your builds. But that's instead of having like 5 or 6 different talents on each of the 6 different gear pieces in the game. So it's just simplifying it, keeping them locked a little bit tighter as to where they're coming from, like where the talents are being used on your build. It's just going to make it a little bit easier, and it's actually going to give you a reason to have more chests and backpacks to get all of those different talents. The current recal system, which is the main topic of this State of the Game, is the reason we have so much trash in our stashes. What they are doing now, and I think this is fucking amazing, if you find a high roll on a piece of gear, as they said on stream, is going to go into your Pokédex. We're basically getting something similar to a Pokédex. I'll explain it further, but it's so that we can recal it onto any piece we want over and over again. So we essentially have a new recal library. It's a library where we extract stats from items. So you find a chest with 18% weapon damage. You extract the weapon damage off that chest. You put it into your recalibration library. But you can use that 18% weapon damage and add it to as many different gear pieces as you want. It literally gets saved as the highest stat you've ever received in the game, and then you can just recal it over and over and over again. So if you find 20 chests and you like, say for example, we won't go with 20, say you've got 6 different builds and you want them all to have 18% weapon damage, you've got chests and they've got bad rolls. You can recal that 18% saved in your library onto all of those chests if you want to. So it's basically just saving our stats for us, and we can use them as many times as we want. Although it is still 1 recalibration per item, which is why they are doing it so that you can recal it as many times as you want, because a lot of people were asking in the chat on Twitch, after we've got everything God roll status in the recal library, what's the point of farming for new gear? Like, it's all going to become pointless. But the reason they've done it so that we have the library and we can save the max stats is because every gear piece is going to have like 5 or 6 different attributes on it, like altogether I'm talking about. So like talents, your attributes, and just other stuff like that. So you're still going to have to find, say you've got a chest and you're running weapon damage and headshot damage, you've still got to go find a chest with a God roll headshot damage stat so that you can recal the God roll weapon damage on there. And then that way your piece is going to be full God roll. So you have to be lucky enough to find gear pieces that already have God roll stats. Unless it's a piece with just 1 stat, then you can obviously do the recal thing and just have some of the best gear. So it's still 1 recal per item, and at the beginning it's going to be character bound, not account. So you can't go into your World Tier 5 raid completed Eagle Bearer holding character and get a 19% weapon damage chest or something like that. Pure example. You can't go get that, put it into your recal library, switch over to your level 2 character and use the 19% weapon damage. It's not going to work like that, at least when this first comes out. You also cannot craft from the recal library. It's literally just a library to save stats so that you can recal your gear. It's going to cost a few more materials than normal because it's so much more powerful. So for example, if it's, let's say 60 ceramics, is now going to cost 100 or something like that. And that was pretty much it for the recal. There might be a couple more bits towards the end. But skill tier is now going to replace skill power as a core attribute. So absolutely no more skill power in the game. It's all skill tier. There are going to be 6 skill tiers in the game. and no items are currently going to add more than one skill tier to your build, because once you have all 6 pieces on your build, each providing a skill tier, you're going to have tier 6 skills being the most powerful skills you can possibly have. Tiers are going to be visible on skills when you're running the DZ, so if someone chucks out a turret, it's going to have like a little battery icon with a number in there, so you can see, oh, that's a tier 4 turret, that's a tier 6 turret. We're still going to have skill mods, they just slightly improve the stats further, but there's no longer any requirements for the mods to work, so you don't need 3,847 skill power to get a 115% damage boost on your Seekers. Something like that. But Overcharge, that basically takes it up to tier 7, like god tier skills. Is going to make your skills absolutely unbelievable, and there are talents going to be coming into the game, similar to Energize, that are going to grant overcharge. So you deploy an armor kit, it gives you overcharge for 15 seconds, and it's just going to be out of this world. You'll see the little video clip on screen of the turret. You can see this thing's spinning around like it doesn't even care. This is like when Sonic goes into his spin. That's how fast this turret is rotating left and right. It's just not going to do it for a long time. So don't worry about it being so overpowered with overcharge. Like, I believe they're working very well on the balancing. A turret will proc overcharge whilst it's out. So you whack it out, you make sure you've procced Energize, your turret will pick up on that and become more powerful. But with the Seekers, they need to be deployed when overcharge is procced. So basically the different skills in the game are going to have different values on how overcharge works and stuff, just to make it a little bit more fair, because you could deploy a Seeker Mine, then proc overcharge, and then it's just going to blow up with the enemies there or the other players there in the DZ and just deal a shit ton of damage. Battery mods. So your auxiliary battery mods for the different skills, they have completely run out of juice, as the dev said. They are completely gone out of the game, but all your other mods will have their stats changed to suit the new gear system, and they will still work on your builds. So if you currently have a mod that's giving you 115% damage, I'm going to use that number again because I believe that's the highest roll I've personally got, but that 115% damage will still be a thing, and you can apply it onto your skills to boost the damage even further. Although I'm not sure how much the stats are going to be affected with those. And then a few things that's like pretty much the most important stuff they spoke about. So just to wrap this video up. Named items can be obtained through Dark Zone caches. This was from a developer Q&A. And both DZ and normal field proficiency caches can drop both the items that come in. So you normally get a weapon and a piece of gear. Both of those items, if you're lucky enough, can come out named. Not only that, but if you get a bonus item, so as an example, you get a classic M1A as your weapon, you get a bag as your gear piece, then you get a bonus and it's a pistol. Instead of it being the M1A like I said, all 3 of those items can be named, so you can essentially get a triple named cache. But obviously with RNG and stuff like that, the chance is pretty much next to nothing. Another one that's a little bit disappointing because of the Seekers, and I absolutely love them for a skill build, explosive damage is being completely removed, so the Seeker builds will need rebuilding, but you're not going to be able to get as deep with a Seeker build as you currently can in the game. But then also, if you overcharge, they're still going to be incredibly strong. They just don't want it to be so overpowered. They want to try and balance the skills out so people are using a mixture of skills instead of just running to the DZ, use the explosive Seeker Mine, go do PvE, have 9 mines that come out of the initial Seeker, and they're all dealing 1 million damage. They want to try and balance it out so that certain skills aren't as powerful. I mean, at the end of the day, they could release this and it could still just be terrible. But by the sounds of things, they've been working on it for a little while. They're doing a good job so far. I'm just hoping it does come out balanced. They've also done minor tweaks to the side-to-side movements. So basically when you're strafing left and right, they've done a couple of tweaks here and there to that. They're improving to make better and more rapid skill deployment, so the cooldowns could be coming down on every single skill. Not entirely sure about everything, and some of the images and stuff that you've seen on screen are just placeholder text. Like, there's not 29 talents for each piece of gear in the game. is literally just so that they can get a WIP, like work in progress build going, and they can work on some of the stuff in the game to test it and see how it's running. Obviously, with all of this, the meta is going to change, so hopefully we will no longer see the toxic shotgun builds and the cheese armor builds and stuff in the DZ. Hopefully it's more balanced as people using different builds that are finding them more viable. And hopefully with all this new stuff in the Gear 2.0 system, synergy is going to become a bigger thing so that we can actually make the builds better, work better together, and all that good stuff that puts a build together properly. Then the last note I want to make before I wrap this video up, apologies, it's a little bit longer from normal looking back at how long I've been recording this commentary, but the higher the difficulty of the content you play is now going to give you higher rolls on average, so it's not all the time. That doesn't mean the God rolls are going to be locked to heroics. They will still be available even in story difficulty, but there's just a lower chance. So they're actually going to make it more rewarding for you to be playing the higher difficulty content in the game. So that is going to do it for the video. Let me know all of your thoughts and stuff in the comments. Are you looking forward to this? Are you not? Do you think all of your builds are going to become obsolete? Like, let me know exactly what you're thinking in the comments. Remember, this is not coming out next month. This is not coming out in March. They are still working on it. There's been no date as of yet. I believe it will be at least halfway through the year, maybe September sort of time even at the latest. I don't know anything about the date yet, but it's definitely 100% not coming with episode 3. But that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.